Cloud services provider Appirio just lined up $60 billion in new funding. Let's go back to our editor-at-large, Cory Johnson, for the deets. Cory?
Yeah, Emily, the investment round was led by a global growth investor, General Atlantic, and they participated with Sequoia and GGV Capital. Appirio plans to use the money to support, well, tell me, what are they going to use this money for?
Sure.
Why did you guys give them all this money?
So let me step back. So Appirio is a terrifically well-positioned company. One of the big things that's going on in corporate America, in corporate world, is a migration from on-premise software to cloud-based software as a service. And so the way GA thinks about the world is to kind of start with themes. And the big theme here is migration from on-premise to software as a service. So we looked for companies out there that were helping software companies be implemented for enterprises. And Appirio is by far the largest and certainly by far the best at rolling out things like Salesforce, like Google, like Workday.
Hey,
and
Gary,
you
at Workday, you mentioned a Reid Hoffman investment.
Yeah.
Gary, you were at GE. You've seen the way both a big company, the biggest of companies, works, and the way other big companies work. What's different about that approach? I think Silicon Valley is so focused on the small companies that Silicon Valley comes from. The big company approaches are hard to come by.
Ask it a different way.
So, is there something about an enterprise sale that Appirio is really good at that others aren't?
Oh, sure. Appirio puts themselves right in the eyes and the way that a large enterprise thinks. So the way a large enterprise thinks is, how do I get the most done for least, like anybody else? How do I know exactly what I'm going to get at the end of the day? And how am I sure that what I'm asking for can be done? And so one of the things Appirio has done is they've built a terrific cadre of customers that are truly promoters of Appirio out there. One of the things that struck us as we were looking at the investment was one of the things that we always do is talk to customers as part of our due diligence. And I think it's safe to say that never have I heard such enthusiasm from the bulk of the customers as I've heard about Appirio.
What do they like about it? I mean, because it strikes me that sales in the enterprise have changed. The way those sales happen, the way reference accounts work, the way a sales force calls an enterprise customer has changed a lot in the last 10 years.
Well, you know, one of the things is, one of the dissatisfactions that a CIO would have is they want to roll out a Siebel, or they want to roll out an Oracle application. And along comes a big system integrator, and they start talking about it as being $1 million, $2 million. It ends up being $10 million.
What I would say is no one wants to roll out a Siebel because the experience they had with Siebel
was already terrible.
It was always 3 times the cost and twice as long to do.
So it ends up being $10 million and 2 years instead of $2 million and 1 year. Okay. Salesforce ends up being 3 months and 300,000. Okay. So the customer loves Appirio. Loves Appirio. And so then when Workday comes along, they say, come help us with Workday. When Google comes along, come help us with Google.
It's interesting to see
when ServiceNow comes along, come help us with ServiceNow.
It's almost like what used to be middleware is now sort of like an advisory service to help with these kinds of things.
It is. Well, the other thing that Appirio has is terrific people that are advisors to the CIO and say, this is how you want to roll out Salesforce, and then we'll help you configure it as well.
Perfect segue. You are on the board of Hewlett-Packard.
Yes,
and I know you don't want to talk about that, but I got to ask you,
are
you happy with the job Meg Whitman is doing thus far?
I am delighted with the job. You know, the team was a little demoralized, you know, way back in September, and it took a true leader to kind of take that team and make it behave and operate as a team and to be motivated. I've met with every one of the senior people since then, and they all feel now that they are part of a team, they're motivated, they know where they want to go, and they believe in their leader. Interesting.
All right. Gary Reiner, General Partner at General Atlantic, thanks for coming on all the way from Connecticut. Appreciate it. Emily?